Before you all start, no, this is not a fake story. And yes, it's going to be a long one, so grab a snack. I'm writing this because I honestly don't know what to do. My life has been upended by a basement. Specifically, my in-laws' basement. My husband, Mark, and I have been married for 5 years. We're both in our early 30s, stable jobs, and we own a decent house in a nice neighborhood. Life is good. The only consistent stressor has been Mark's parents, especially his mother, Brenda. Brenda is a force of nature, the kind of woman who can turn a casual suggestion into an ironclad demand, all while acting like she's doing you a massive favor. About 3 years ago, Brenda called Mark and me with an urgent family matter. When we got there, she sat us down with her patented, solemn face, the one she wears when she's about to lecture you about something you didn't even know was a problem. "Your father and I have an issue," she began, gesturing to her husband, who was busy staring at the wall as if observing a fascinating new breed of wallpaper. "We're drowning in clutter. Years of your father's old tools, Mark's childhood sports gear, my craft supplies, Christmas decorations, it's all in the basement, and it's getting out of control." She then dropped the bomb. "We need you two to clean it out for us. You have the time and energy." We were, to put it mildly, stunned. We both work demanding jobs and our weekends are sacred. But before we could say anything, she added, "We'll pay you, of course. A few $1,000s for the trouble. And anything you want from down there, you can have. Think of it as an early inheritance." Mark's eyes lit up. "Anything?" he asked. He'd always talked about his dad's old tool set. "Anything you can carry," she said with a smile that was a little too sweet. So we agreed. We didn't need the money, but the thought of getting some of Mark's sentimental items back and helping his parents seemed like a decent trade. The first weekend was a flurry of activity. We hauled out old, moldy carpet, organized rusty tools, and filled trash bags with what felt like decades of junk. It was gross, but we powered through. The second weekend, we started hitting the jackpot. We uncovered Mark's old comic book collection, a box of his dad's antique fishing lures, and a beautiful old wooden chest. Mark was thrilled. We even found a few pieces of furniture that we thought would look great in our guest room after some TLC. This is where the story starts to get weird. As we continued, Brenda began showing up with helpful suggestions that were anything but. One afternoon, she stood over us with a clipboard and a disapproving frown. "I don't think you're organizing properly," she announced. "These books need to be in chronological order, not alphabetical." Another day, we found a note taped to the basement door, "Leave the chest. It's an heirloom." The same chest she'd previously said we could have. We confronted her about it. "Mom, you said we could have anything," Mark said. "Well, I've had a change of heart. That chest belongs in the family," she said, her smile not reaching her eyes. This happened with increasing frequency. The more we found, the more she wanted to keep. The comic books were a collector's item. The fishing lures were your father's pride and joy. Every sentimental thing suddenly became a treasured family artifact, even if it had been collecting dust in a damp, dark basement for 20 years. The work dragged on for months. Brenda and her husband never lifted a finger. They just show up, point, and make new rules. The promised few $1,000s for our labor? That got paid out in tiny, frustrating installments, usually with a lecture about how we weren't working fast enough. One weekend, after 8 months of this, we were completely fed up. The basement was about 90% done, but our goodwill was gone. We just wanted to be finished. We were sorting through a box of ancient vinyl records when we found it. Tucked beneath a stack of old 45s was a small, leather-bound journal. It was Mark's dad's handwriting on the cover. Inside, his father had meticulously documented everything in the basement, along with the monetary value of many items. The heirloom chest? A knockoff from an antique store, purchased for $50. The collector's item comics? Valued at maybe $100 total. But the journal revealed something else. An entire section detailing an antique stamp collection that he had inherited and stored somewhere safe. We read on, our hearts sinking. His dad wrote about his disappointment that Brenda wanted to sell the collection for a down payment on a new RV. But he'd found a way around it. He'd hidden the collection in the walls of the basement. The journal contained a crude drawing of the wall where they were hidden. The next weekend, Mark and I went back to the basement, but not to sort junk. We found the spot marked in the journal, and sure enough, a loose patch of drywall revealed a cavity. Inside was a small, metal box. The stamp collection was there, wrapped carefully in plastic. Not just any stamps. These were rare, valuable, and according to the journal, worth a small fortune. We couldn't believe it. Brenda and his dad had lied. The entire clean the basement operation was a distraction. A long con, designed to get us to do the grunt work while they kept an eye on us, making sure we didn't stumble upon the real prize. The journal confirmed it. Mark's dad had written that he couldn't stand the thought of selling the collection and was hoping Mark would find it. So, we had a choice. We could confront them, blow up the family, and likely never see the money we were promised. Or we could play their game. We put the box in a bag and hid it in our car. When we left, we made sure to complain loudly about the amount of work left and how we were getting nowhere. The next week, we called Brenda and told her we were finished. We were done with the basement. She went ballistic. "You can't just quit," she shrieked over the phone. "We had an agreement." Mark calmly reminded her that the agreement was to help out, and after 9 months, we had more than done our part. She tried to threaten us, promising to tell everyone what you've done. But Mark held his ground. That was 6 months ago. We got the collection appraised. It's worth over $200,000. Mark's dad passed away a few months later from a sudden illness, and we never had a chance to talk to him about it. Brenda has been giving us the silent treatment, but we know she's fuming. She thinks we just gave up on the project, and she's probably furious that the RV fund never materialized. She has no idea what we found. I feel guilty, but also completely justified. They used us, and we turned the tables on them, just like Mark's dad intended. Should we have given them the money? Told them we found it? Or is this just karmic justice? Ite for taking the valuable stamp collection after being used and lied to by my in-laws?